Alright, bro. Might as well restart this entire vid. Um, I do not know how. I just didn't know how to make this video, but you know I have to because people are retarded. Um, we have failed as a franchise. You know, out for two people. That's Damien. That's a Dame. No, off of CJ and off of Terry Stotts. First, I'm gonna get into CJ. No, I grew up watching CJ. I love CJ. Like, um, CJ's been one of my favorite players of all time. Of course, I grew up watching him since my nigga. I was what 2015 was. I was 13 in 2015. So that's when he popped off. Um, I've been a fan of him since 2013. I'm 18 now, and he. I'm not saying he's not good. CJ's a great player, but what the fuck are you doing, my nigga? Like, CJ, I'm not gonna lie, if I had the chance to trade for you and make Norm my starting shooting guard and like trade for Middleton, I would do it in a fucking heartbeat. Like, I don't even think it's a debate at this point. CJ, you're not that good. You don't like to pass the ball. Norm is like wide open at least 10 times a game in the corner or in the wing or cutting, and you don't pass the ball to him. Like you don't pass the ball at all. Like, yeah, this is your career high in assists per game. Like, don't get me wrong, you pass more, I guess, but you should average like 20 and 6.5 or 7. Like, is getting buckets mean that much to you? Like, I don't know why we didn't trade for Harden. Like, I really don't. I don't care that we lose a bit of our depth. We still have great depth. Like, bro, my nigga is James Harden. Like, what the fuck is you thinking, Neil? Like, we're getting blind 5 games in. Like, oh, wow. CJ's averaging 27 5 games in. Don't get me wrong. Like, hot streak lasted until the 14th game in. But, you know, it was a hot streak. Now, do I think it would have continued if, you know, CJ never got hurt? Oh, most definitely. I think CJ, this probably would have been CJ's prime year. But, you know, he got hurt, and then he got out of rhythm, and regular CJ came back. You know, 2015 to 2020, CJ came back. And again, you know, CJ probably would have cooled off eventually, but he probably would have been averaging 25 this season. And, you know, 5 assists. But he cooled off. He went back to regular CJ, which is why I wish we traded for Harden, because, well, it's James Harden. He knows what he's doing. But, you know, that's a story for another day. CJ, not that good, my nigga. I would trade for Middleton in a heartbeat. Don't like to pass the ball. You tweet has you swash, and you miss a good amount of them. Don't get me wrong, you're money from the mid-range, but pass the ball, maybe. I don't fucking know. Pass it to Dame, maybe. I don't fucking know. You're just not that good. Like, oh my lord. Like, why don't you like passing the ball? Like, why do you just take isolation shots? Like, just pass the fucking ball. Jesus Christ. Like, without Dame, you're nothing. You're literally nothing. Like, you're a third option on the team, 6-man type player. Like, switch to 6-man. Let Norm play the starting 2. Switch to 6-man. Oh my lord, we beat so much better. But, you know, there's no disrespect to CJ. Like, CJ's a great player, of course, and it hurts me to say this, but I'm just being completely honest. Like, CJ, you're not that good. You're extremely overrated. The second most overrated player next to Bradley Beal. I don't think it's a debate. You're just not that good. And isn't it like any disrespect to you? It's just, I'm telling you my personal opinion. I love you. You've been one of my favorite players while growing up, but I like, if I had the chance to trade for Middleton, I'll do it in a heartbeat. Have Norm and then Middleton. Like, Middleton, I would. Oh my lord, Middleton's passing game is so underrated, and then of course he's a great defender, a great wing defender. So having him at the 3 and then Norm at the 2, who's also a great defender, who can't, you know, I guess you could say create his own shot like CJ, but he can like switch modes. Like, he could be a 3 and D, and then, you know, you need him to slash and he'll do that. He can create his own shot a bit. Like, he's a multi-positional player. Like he could do what Jaylen Brown does. Like Jaylen Brown has modes. Like he go 3-and-D mode, or he can go create your own shot, get a bucket mode while playing great defense. You feel me? So you know, he could do that, and I wish that CJ had that ability, but he can't guard a stick. You know, he's pretty slow on defense. He can't. His off-ball defense is atrocious. Like he let Austin Rivers drop 17 on him in one quarter. Austin fucking Rivers. Like, don't get me wrong, Austin Rivers is a bucket getter, but like, holy fuck, you just let Austin Rivers kill us for the game. Like why? Like, why is your defense that bad? And of course, your passing's not good. You don't like to pass the ball. And then you're streaky sometimes. Like, holy fuck, man. I wish I could trade for Middleton right now. I would do it. I would do it. And now let's go into the second of the game. It's Terry Stotts. Like, y'all know this is fucking coming, my nigga. Like, I don't even think I have to say much. You don't run any other plays besides pick and roll and ISO. You're a terrible defensive coach. Like, you have 7 great defenders in Derrick Jones Jr., Robert Covington, Yusuf Nurkic, Norman Powell, CJ Ellaby, Zach Collins, but he's out, Rondé Hollis Jefferson, Nasir Little. You have all these defenders. You have double the amount of good defenders since last year. Let me tell you something. We were 28th in the defense last year. We're 29th this year. Now, of course, this has a huge part due to, you know, Ronnie not being there until late in the season. Nurk was out for a good amount of the season. But, you know, you have Derrick Jones Jr., you have Carmelo Anthony, you have Nasir Little, you have CJ Ellaby, who's a great defender, even though he doesn't get PT. Nas didn't get PT. Derrick Jones Jr. stopped getting PT for some reason. And you proceed to run players at the 5 like Carmelo Anthony. You proceed to run terrible lineups with Enes Kanter playing in the game at the same time with Carmelo Anthony. You don't know what your rotations is. You don't know what a rotation is, what a good rotation is. You don't know how to, you know, give players a chance. You don't use the pieces around you correctly. You only run pick and roll in isolation, and then people wonder why. Why does Dame drop off in the playoffs? Oh, the biggest playoff drop in NBA history. You know, my nigga. Like, let me tell you something. For the past 5 years, we've been running the same offense and same defense. So let's go into the offensive part. If you were the same offense, don't you think that teams are going to figure out by game 1 of the playoffs how to defend you? Because you don't like to make adjustments. Don't even get me started on the adjustments part. You don't know what an adjustment is, nor do you like to make them. Like, prior to game 3 of the Nuggets, this series, he literally said, I don't think we have to make adjustments, even though the Nuggets put Aaron Gordon on Dame. Now, is Dame still cooking him? Of course, yeah. He just dropped 37. He dropped, what, 36 last game? He dropped 36. So, is he still cooking him? Almost definitely. But, you know, a bigger wing guy on a 6'2" guard, and you're not adjusting to make it easier for Dame isn't a good thing. Like, Dame is still getting his buckets. Don't get me wrong. But Dame has struggled to get some buckets here and there. Aaron Gordon's just a big defender who can guard guards. Like, he's quick enough. He's stronger than Dame. Like, what do you expect? What do you expect to happen? Like, come on. You have all these pieces. Derrick Jones Jr. gets 5 minutes a game now and didn't play a great amount of the games since ending the season. And he played 5 minutes in game 2. And guess what he did? He was a +7 in 5 minutes. He had 2 deflections in 5 minutes. And he's our best on-ball defender. And you don't play him. You don't play him. You have Nasir Little, plus on-ball defender. You don't play him. You have Rondé Hollis Jefferson, can guard 1 through 5. You don't play him. Harry Giles, an average to above average defender sometimes. You don't play him. Instead, you play Enes Kanter and Carmelo Anthony at the same time, and you expect us to be great. You're like, my nigga, you're fucking terrible, bro. I hope your house burns down. Oh my god, my nigga, you are absolutely the worst coach in the profession of basketball. Like, not no, oh, you know, no, there's no excuse for you. You have a generational talent in Damian Lillard, one of the greatest shooters of all time, one of the greatest point guards of all time, period. One ring will solidify his legacy as a top 7 point guard of all time, and you failed to use the talent around you to build a championship type state. Like, this team is the best team Dame has ever had since the LaMarcus Aldridge era. Overall, this is his best team he's ever had, right? His best team. And we're the 6th seed. We're losing to a deflated Nuggets team. You expect me not to get mad? Like, you expect me like to be happy, you know? You expect sympathy for you repeating the same mistakes over and over again. You run the same offense, no off-ball plays, no slashes, no cuts for Derrick Jones Jr., who's a great athlete, can jump up to the fucking ceiling, my nigga. You have all these plays, and you don't use them. You just use pick and roll isolation, and people wonder why Dame drops off so much in the playoffs. People wonder. Well, I don't know why he does. Because teams know what they're gonna do. We run the same offense and defense. Bro, this year, Dame's like defensive attention was probably at its all-time peak. Teams have gotten so used to us doing the same offense that you know, we were just playing pick and roll and traps the entire year. They were just trapping Dame the entire year. They were just doubling Dame, tripling Dame, blitzing Dame, hard hedging Dame, quadruple teaming Dame the entire year. The entire year. Because teams got so used to us weren't playing the same offense and defense. The traps only really happened during the playoffs. They actually don't really happen in the playoffs. Usually, these last couple of years, they usually only happen in the playoffs. But for some reason, they decided to do it during the regular season, and it was working sometimes. Now, don't get me wrong, Dame has learned to beat a trap. Like, I actually can confirm to say this, Dame has learned to beat a trap. You know, a lot of people say, well, you know, it's Dame's fault for not knowing how to beat a trap. Well, he knows how to beat a trap now. He definitely knows. Or at least he can do it more consistently. You know, if you don't want to say he can't beat a trap, he can do it more consistently. And you know, you just run the same offense and defense and wonder why Dame drops off in the playoffs a bit. Well, it's because teams know what we're gonna do, and that's why they know what they're gonna do against Dame. That's why they know what they're gonna do against CJ. You know, CJ goes up in the playoffs, and the reason why is because all the defensive attention is on Damian Lillard. You know, we run. I guess the only other play we run is Nurk just throwing great passes to players, but you know that can only do so much. You know, Nurk's a great passer, but like he's not a Jokic level passer. He can be, in my opinion, if you know we run more plays for him like that. But you know, our offensive system doesn't work like that, like the Nuggets do. You know, so that really can't happen. So that's a fucking waste. You know, Dame has an untapped potential at 30 with off ball. He can run off ball. People like to say, oh, he can't run off. He can run off ball, bro. Like the nigga shoots like 43% from 3 on catch and shoot tabs, and that's all from off balls. Like I've never seen Dame get the ball on a wide open shot. Never. It's actually from off ball plays. It's extremely rare for us to like maybe 3 times a year, but you know he shot 42% from it. So about 5 or 6 times we're in an off ball play for Dame, and he shoots 43% from it. He can move without the ball. Of course, not on a Steph Curry or Klay Thompson level, but he can really move without the ball. If he actually practiced that, and I don't think the reason why, you know, he can move the ball pretty good, but I think he can even be better if he practiced it, but I know why he doesn't practice it, because we don't run that. Why would he practice something we don't do? It'll be a waste of time. Like, Jesus Christ, like I've never seen a coach so arrogant, so ignorant to change shit, my nigga. Like, fuck is you doing? You are terrible. You have all these defenders and you're 29th, third all time worst in defense. You suck. Like, as simple as that. You suck. Like, your contract has expired. You are getting fired. Whether we somehow make the finals or not. That's why, like, listen, I'm a Dame fan, of course, but I'm a Blazers fan. That's the most important thing. I'm a Blazers fan. The best bet at this point is blowing it up. I don't see us doing anything else. You know, I don't see us getting a roster this good anymore. This was our best chance. This is the best roster that Dame has ever had. And it got wasted by Terry Stotts. Best roster that Dame has ever had. Better than the 2018-2019 roster. The one that we made the conference finals. I don't know how we made it. I don't know how we made it without Nurk. But we made it. It was better than that roster. That roster was pretty good, but this roster's better. You know, all these talented players, and guess what? We can't do anything about it. That's it. We lost. You know, we absolutely fucking lost. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we lose in 6 to the Nuggets. I think we get one more game. If we do lose the series, it's in 6. If we do win the series, it's in 7. No way, it's not in 7. No way. We'll probably take the next game, but once we go back to Denver, we're losing those games. You know, Dame's averaging 37 or nearly 50, 49. He's averaging, I think he's like 45% from the field, which is still really good. Like, this is his best playoff series yet. And you know, we can't win games because CJ doesn't want to pass the ball, and Terry Stotts doesn't know just to let Jokic and Nurk go at it and not leave anybody else open at 3. That's literally what you have to do. Don't let anybody else get open. Jokic should drop 50, but the overall team would drop 70 something or 80 something because no one else is open. And we could be dropping our usual 110, 120 points because their defense is pretty bad. You know? Like if Dame leaves this offseason, I wouldn't be surprised. I hope he does go to a team that's deserving of him, like the Lakers. That's a guaranteed three-peat. The Warriors, guaranteed contender. The Bucks, guaranteed contender. You know, those teams on my top 3 list. If he were to ever leave, I don't want Dame to leave. Of course, it will break my heart to see him not in a Blazers jersey, but we're not gonna win anything anytime soon. We're not, unless it's a Cinderella story. We get hot sometime during this or next playoffs. We're not gonna win anything. Dame is already about to turn 31, and I know what how the world is. Primes are lasting much longer. Like Curry's 33, and he's playing like 2016 stuff. Which, in my opinion, is better than 2016 stuff. But he's 33, and look what he's doing. DeMar DeRozan's 32, and look what he's doing. Jimmy Butler's about to turn 32, and look what he's doing. Russell Westbrook is 32, and look what he's doing. James Harden's about to turn 32, look what he's doing. Kevin Durant's about to turn 33, look at what he's doing. Primes are lasting much longer. That's due to health and medicine, but we're not going to get into that shit. You know, players are getting older, and they're still playing as good as they were as 25. So, you know, we have about 4 to 5 years of Dame's prime left, and we're not going to win anything. We're not. So, Dame to the Lakers. Let's get that three-peat. Like, one ring will solidify his legacy as a top 7 point guard of all time and all-time great. You know, that's what I hope. But that's the end of the video. We suck. We're not going to win anything. Dame, go ring chase. That's your best bet. Goodbye, y'all.